Well, this team's hungry. I know that. I think it's really easy for not just people that follow our program, but really any program going into 2026 to look at what was on their team last year and see that a lot of those guys are gone. I think we were old last year, and we weren't even close to the oldest team in the conference. And so a lot of schools are dealing with people that are going and replacing great players, and we're no different. I think we've replaced a lot of guys with guys who can really play. And maybe we're inexperienced, but we're talented, and our guys are super hungry. They've been working, and I'm really excited for this group. It's been a lot of fun to be around them. The learning curve is really steep. And, I think if we look at things in terms of this year's team as its own thing, it's going to be a really, really fun year. We've had a lot of success the last several years. Coming out of COVID really kind of sucked the life out of the leadership pipeline in a lot of ways. And when you're successful and you have old guys, what the young guys do is they learn how to win, and they learn what it takes, the sacrifice, the discipline, how to be a great teammate. And that stuff starts to grow and take root. And I think the guys that we've had in the past who have been leaders, Jack Anderson and Nick Harms and Dane Camphausen and James Powers, and these guys have been so instrumental in rebuilding our leadership, our culture coming out of the pandemic, and really making it about winning as a team. These guys have seen that, for one, but they've also been a big part of it, right? Like Tyler Stilson has been a big part of it. Quinn Saunders has been a part of it. Matt Trout. So these are guys that, they haven't just been watching. They've been a part of it. They maybe haven't been the most vocal leaders just because the older guys tend to do that, but they have been a huge part of the leadership and the success of this team. And so they're now taking the reins and using their voices the way the older guys did when they were here. Coach CWRU has done an incredible job with these guys from day one. I mean, we were so young on the mound last year, and very talented, but very young. And the transition from pitching in high school to pitching in college is incredible. It's really, really difficult. And these guys made a huge leap last year, and they've made an even bigger one coming in to their sophomore seasons. And that's not even to mention the juniors and seniors that we have on this team that are better than they were a year ago. We've always known that this group was really talented, and now they're starting to turn that into skill. The game is slowing down for them, and it's really exciting to see these guys compete with each other, understanding that it's a really strong unit, and that everybody's going to kind of work together. We're talking about ERA goals for the team and all this stuff, and understanding that last year the offense probably carried them a little bit, and this year they're trying to be the strong link in the chain, if that makes sense. Tyler is a great player on both sides of the ball, and with that, I think a lot of times it can be difficult. You can have expectations, people can have expectations of you, and those can be really difficult to manage. Sometimes people shrink from it, right? They underperform because of the weight of that pressure. And then some people grow because of it. And he's one of those guys that has taken the challenge head on. I mean, his nature is to find what he wants and work until he gets it, and then go beyond it. And so it's really, his character and his nature to have a lot on his shoulders and carry as much as he can, because he knows he's capable and he knows how to do it. And so, Tyler's numbers are going to be, I'm not worried about that. He's a really great player, and he lifts those around him, which is a big deal. But just who he is, if you're around him for 5 minutes, you understand this kid's a little bit different, and he's just destined for success. It's just going to happen because he works so hard at it. Jack was a great player for us, and it's not somebody, like, we're not really trying to replace people. Everybody's their own person, right? And Jack was an incredible athlete. He pitched, he caught, he played the outfield, he played the infield, he did a little bit of everything. And when I say that Sean Donahue may be a better athlete, that's Jack would tell you he probably is. I mean, he's an incredible athlete. He would have, we feel like Sean would have been a starting catcher at just about anywhere for the last few years. And he's been, a great teammate. He's kind of bided his time, and we really think it's his time now. Sean's going to be a terrific player for us. And the guys that are competing for time, because Sean's not going to catch 40 games this regular season. Carson Walker, Colin Poole, those guys have worked their tails off, are super talented in their own right. And, we feel like it's a small group, obviously, but also a really strong group of kids that are going to be a benefit for us for sure. Nate means to us is a lot. I talked to our team the other day. I said, if you ever want to know what it looks like to do things the right way, just watch whatever Nate's doing at that moment. This is his third year with us. I've never seen him one time go through the motions, right? If he's doing a drill, if he's doing anything, it's as hard as he can, it's as focused as he can be. And that's why Nate's become a really good player. I watched the last play of the regionals just a week ago where, he makes this incredible diving play up the middle, spins, throws, and just, it was an incredible play and not surprising. Nate puts in time to make sure he can make that play when it matters. So when you talk about an anchor of the defense, like he's an anchor of our culture and, just a really great kind of representative and example of what we're trying to be. And it shows on the field, it shows in practice. We've got a lot of talent in the infield. Some young, some old, most of it young. But, we expect Calvin Gelly to take a big role in the infield. Eli Westrick, who's in a grad year for us, he was an All-American a few years ago at the College of Worcester, is here. And then a youngster, James O'Connor, is going to play quite a bit. And then there's a couple other young guys, too, that are going to be in the mix. But those seem to be the four guys right now that are going to take a bulk of the time early. It's an athletic and really talented group out there. We feel good about the guys we're going to be running out there on a daily basis. So, we expect Matt Trout to, he was a big part of things last year, to be a big part of things again this year. And Josiah Harris, super talented kid who's played a bunch over his first 3 years here. He's transitioning really to a full-time outfield position, which is going to suit him. I think it's going to allow him to really, do what he does best. Thomas Downs, another guy who's a really good player, bounced around positionally because he's versatile, is going to see some time out there. And then a youngster, Evan Garbinkas, is going to see a lot of time as well. Who was, had a big injury last year, missed the whole year medically, but has been doing everything right since then. So, those guys, there's some young guys too who are going to be in the mix, but we expect those guys to kind of be the ones that are going to play a bulk at the beginning. We need to make mistakes and we need to be confident through them. If we're able to do that, we're young, we're talented, we're going to make errors. It's how we respond to those things. If we respond with slumped shoulders or we turn one mistake into two, we're not going to do very well. But if they do what they've been doing in practice, which is, make mistakes boldly and move on, then we're going to be just fine. Our talent's going to play and we're going to really grow. This group has gotten better from, the first day we got together. And I really believe, we're not looking for perfection. I don't think we're capable of it on really any level. But I think if we can make mistakes and then move on confidently on the very next pitch, things are going to go just fine. I'm looking forward to the first game. I can't wait to get to it. Kind of like every year, we try to schedule as good of a schedule as we can, play as good a teams as we can play. And I think this year's no different. Oswego State's going to be a huge test right away. I can't wait to throw our guys into the fire. And throwing them into the fire is, figurative because it's probably going to be 30 degrees. But, I can't wait to see what our guys do when we're on the field together. I'm really excited about, what these guys are going to do from an effort, from a focus standpoint, the mistakes that we're not going to be afraid to make, things like that. But right now, you can look at our schedule and there's a lot of games against really good teams on there. And, we're pretty pumped to get started in a week.